Now, the first stage of our installation is going to be ground preparation. Now, we're not going to go intense into the ground preparation in this video. This video is more for the meat of the installation of the pool itself. However, in our series, we have a video dedicated to ground prep that's going to walk you through everything you need to know to get your site prepared for the pool. And I've noticed over the years that over 50% of the problems homeowners are having installing these Intex pools are dedicated to ground preparation. And the problem is a lot of times you don't even realize you've made a mistake until you install the pool. The pool's full of water. Now things are looking weird. Things are leaning. The pool may even be unsafe to swim in. Then you got to drain the pool down, fix your problems, put the pool back up, fill it back with water. It's a big headache, and that's what this series is for, getting it right the first time. So I highly recommend that you follow that video. Now in this video, we are going to be installing a 24-foot round pool, but the concepts that we show you are going to be the exact same no matter what size pool you install. So as far as the ground preparation for our installation, what we want is a site graded out about a foot bigger than the pool size itself. This will give us enough room to fit our pool inside the site and do what we got to do. We also want to grade the site as level as possible within about an inch, and then we'll really get this perfect during the installation. Then we're going to mark out our pool size. What we're doing here is pulling a 24-foot diameter for this particular pool, and we're setting flags up so that we can see exactly where our pool is going to sit. And then as we go to spread sand, we can spread it just underneath our 24-foot pool. Now, when it comes to the sand, just follow our sand chart in our series. It'll tell you exactly how much sand to use according to what pool you've purchased, and also what kind of sand you can use. There's a couple different types, and we'll go over that with you. So now we're just going to spread this sand out. We're trying to make it as even as we can. Sometimes you need sand, sometimes you don't. So just follow our key points video and we'll go over exactly the requirements of what you're looking for, whether you might need sand or whether you can just use the dirt that you have. So now we're just spreading it out, cutting the highs, filling in the lows, trying to make it as smooth as we can as our first stage of smoothing up the pool. Now here's a little technique we use so that we can walk on top of the sand, but we basically take cardboard that came with the pool and we tape it to the bottom of our feet. Now I know this is a bit primitive, but it really works well. This way we can walk on top of our sand base and not make footprints, because nobody wants footprints underneath their swimming pool. It looks horrible, and this is going to keep that from happening. So once we get this sand spread out with our shovel, what we're going to do is smooth it up here using our broom. And what we're doing now is taking it to even the next level of flatness. Now there's not a lot of right and wrong as far as smoothing up the floor. You just want to make it as nice as you possibly can. And we've always used the push broom for this because it's really going to make the floor nice and flat by rubbing your push broom back and forth on top of the sand. Now once we get the entire floor flattened out as best we can, we're going to come back with a sod roller to pack this sand down. Now, this is what we use. We do 2 of these a day. We like to make it quick and efficient. You don't necessarily have to go out and buy a sod roller to make this happen. You know, these can be anywhere from $100 to $200. Just follow our tips and tricks video, and we're going to give you a lot of other options that you can use to pack this sand down. Now what we're trying to achieve by packing this sand down is a nice, smooth, packed sheen on top of this sand. This is really going to make for a nice floor, and you'll be guaranteed that when you fill the pool, the floor is going to look the same. Here's my point. You're going to grade your site out. You're going to lay your sand on top of this site. Then you're going to come back and build the pool on top of this sand. Well, what's going to happen is all that water weight is going to be pushing up against that sand, and it's going to pack it on its own. You got to keep in mind, this 24-foot pool that we're installing in this video holds 108,000 pounds of water weight. So it's really going to pack that sand down tight. And if you don't pack it down before you put the pool on top of it, 108,000 pounds of water weight is going to pack it down. The problem with that is if you have any rocks, any sticks, any dirt clogs underneath that sand that hasn't been packed, when the water packs, it's going to reveal those things underneath, and you're going to have bumps and lumps underneath your pool, and it's not the best way to do it. So you want to make sure you pack it down first. Now, once we get that sand packed down nice, we're going to take the tarp that comes with the pool, and we're going to set it on top of our site. Now, what we're looking for when we lay this tarp down is we really want to try to tighten it up as best we can. If there's real tiny wrinkles or creases in it, that's not a big deal. But if we have big creases, it's going to cause lumps and bumps underneath the pool. So we want to get this nice and taut and looking good, something like this. Then we're going to take the skin, the liner of the pool itself, and we're going to open it up on top of this site. Now, as we're opening this pool up, you're going to have holes in the side of the wall of the liner where your pump and filter is going to go. So at this point, you're going to want to decide where you want your pump and filter to go. Now, here are the holes right here. What you're going to want to do is position this liner on the site where the pump and filter holes are where you want them to be. So if you have to twist this liner around, keep in mind at this point you want to know where you want your pump and filter to go, because once you put this pool together, that's where it's going to be. Then we're going to lay out all our horizontal brackets and all our T brackets. I like to put the top of the pool together first. It makes it a lot easier to put everything else together. Now, on the top of the liner itself, you're going to have slots in the liner that you're going to slide your horizontal bars through. And then between these two slots is where you're going to place your T bracket, which is where a vertical post is going to set. Now, what you're looking for when you do this is you want to make sure that the white clip on the T bracket is going to pop into the hole that's on the horizontal bar. Something like this. There's our hole on the horizontal bar, and we're going to snap our T bracket into that. And it's very, very important that that white clip is popped into that hole. That's something you're going to want to pay attention to while you're putting the top of the framework together, and you're also going to want to pay attention to it once you get everything together, just to make sure nothing's popped out, because once you fill this thing with water, there's going to be no moving these around. Now, here's a little technique when you get to the very last horizontal bar. What you're going to want to do is pop these clips in and slide the horizontal bar all the way up against the T bracket. Now, you notice this is our very last one, and we barely have enough room to get these two together. And if you don't slide your horizontal bars back on your T bracket, you're not going to be able to fit this in. So slide that back like we're showing here, and then just pop that in, and then get everything else popped back in with your white clips, and you'll be good to go on that last piece. Now we're going to lay out all our vertical posts, and we're also going to lay out our patio blocks that we're going to have our vertical posts sitting on top of. Now, once we get the entire top of our pool assembled, now's the time to check for our holes. So if we have our holes here, our pump and filter is going to sit between those on the outside of the pool. So if there's any tweaking that you need, now's the time to do it before you start putting these vertical posts on. Now, sometimes on a hot day, these vertical posts are hard to slide down through through the white collar. So what you can do is just spray a little bit of water on them, and it just helps them slide through a little bit better. So we're going to slide our vertical posts through our white strap. We're going to snap them into the bottom of our T-bar, and then we're going to put our black footer on the bottom. Now what we like to do is when we're putting in our vertical posts is to skip a few until we have the entire top assembly of the pool raised in the air, like so.